Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Big Chill Podcast, The Squid Situation. All right, boys. So, as everyone who's listened to the last podcast knows, we got a big day of NHL hockey predictions, a lot on the line here. But first, let's go around the table and say hi. My thing today that I wanted to mention was it's now the 10-year anniversary of Frankel's maiden run. So that's pretty neat. First race. Want to take a guess at what the odds were for its first race?
It was when it was at its longest, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was
the best odds you could ever get.
I think it was the only time it wasn't odds on even, man, almost. I'm gonna say it was about 6-4, something like that.
I was exactly gonna say 6-4.
7-4. Super close. But yeah, it won its maiden, never lost since. And you know who it beat in that maiden that got second?
Ooh.
Also pretty good trivia fact.
It wasn't someone like Nathaniel or something?
It was.
Like that?
Enable's sire Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Kind of going full circle with the colors, the silks. Enable Frankel. All right. So how are you guys?
Good. I was thinking the other day, it's really good that you've got kind of daily sport in August. Usually this is like the slowdown months. You barely get anything in Europe, but it's great that you've got daily football. It's been good actually. How are you both doing?
Yeah, it's nice. You're right. It's nice. Normally this would be a slow period for sports, and then it's the opposite now. So kind of the busiest period of the year. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Champions League knockout stages, Europa League knockout stages. And it's also nice because there's not even going to be some slow period, because as soon as all of this is over, the Premier League's back, NFL season around the corner, so it's going to be a nice few months. I guess the pandemic was worth it.
It was worth it
for a summer of sport.
Yeah, the summer of sport. It's like the summer of George. So before we get into the hockey, I thought this would kind of just be funny. So we're setting up. Students are coming back onto campus, and we have graduate students coming back. Usually we go out and have social hours, things like that. But because everything that's going on, we need to stay via Zoom. And it's tough to, I guess, be interactive and chatty in a Zoom. So we decided a good way would be we would give some of the faculty icebreaker questions, and they would answer them. So that way the students would feel as them being more of humans and less as scary mentors. So we went through a list of about 100 different icebreaker questions, which are all really shitty. So I'm just going to throw a few at you. Feel free to answer however you would like.
By the way, Scary Mentors is a great name for anyone looking for a fantasy football team name or something.
All right, here's one. If you could live in any sitcom, which one would it be?
Well, that's tough.
Is that one of your favorite
tough one
icebreaker questions?
No, we did not choose this one because we were afraid most faculty don't watch television.
Wait, really? That was the reason?
Well,
and to the extent that they couldn't even name a sitcom, they couldn't get pushed to be like Friends.
Yeah, I think it would just kind of be really obvious ones for most of them.
I mean, I would probably choose Friends. I'm assuming that am I a main character in this, or am I just someone existing in the background, or am I becoming one of the Friends characters? Like I'm one of the friends.
You won't replace one of the Friends characters, but you can be an additional Friends character.
Okay, so I'm like Paul Rudd's character in Friends.
Mm. So you're going to marry Phoebe.
I mean, no, I wouldn't be my first choice.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But I'd probably choose Friends because overall their life is like pretty stress-free. Not that people's lives in sitcoms are generally pretty stressful, but they've got a pretty nice setup, nice apartments, never seem to be too worried about jobs, with the exception of Joey. But like money never seems to be a real issue for them. Life just seems pretty carefree.
Yeah, they all have pretty successful jobs. I've never seen a group of a random 6 friends that all end up within 3 years having pretty high-paying, successful jobs like that.
Yeah.
Who would be your best friend on that show?
Within the
who's
friends?
your roommate?
Yeah.
Who's
like your kind of like romance with?
I would say I'd probably get along the most with Chandler.
Because you're both
That would be-
neurotic.
Yeah, and sarcastic. And that's the thing is there might
Miserable.
be there might be too much of an overlap, so I might have to choose one of the others. So it's just not doubling down on my natural characteristics. But yeah, I would say. But I think actually from all the male characters, I think I would get along with pretty well.
All right, I've got a good one for Sam then.
Why?
If a movie was being made of your life and you could choose the actor or actress to play you, who would you choose and why?
It's too on the spot. I can't think, and I'm almost panicking now. I'm trying to think, like, should I go for an actor that just looks like me, or should I go for something with like a great little fairy tale story?
I can tell you mine. Eddie, do you want to guess what mine is?
I mean, the thing is, your selection has nothing to do with how well they'll play your life. So your choice is probably Matt Damon,
It's absolutely Matt Damon.
but that has nothing to do with any aspect of your life.
And the reason I choose Matt Damon is because my grandma for the longest time used to tell me I look like Matt Damon, and we would even hold up pictures, and we look nothing alike.
No,
Nothing.
this
And
with
she
the utmost.
still insists that I look like Matt Damon.
I mean this with the utmost respect to both you and your grandmother. But your grandmother has serious eye issues. You should have stopped asking her if you look like Matt Damon and taken her to a doctor.
Which film are you going for then? Which Matt Damon film? Like The Martian?
Oh, it's got to be Born Identity.
Yeah, I mean already, right? You've got to choose an earlier version of Matt Damon because he is quite a bit older than you, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 20 years older than you.
He's going to play the future me.
Yeah. So who's playing young you? There's a question. Who's playing teenage Frank in a movie?
Robert Pattinson?
Wow, what a wait a second. So early you is Robert Pattinson. And then Matt Damon steps in. It's like, wait, what happened to this guy? He got significantly shorter in his 30s.
Oh my god, he must have got like hit in the throat as well, because that accent has changed considerably.
They'll have to like write
maybe that's part of the story. I like lose my height.
Yeah, they'll have to put some horrible accident into your life. It's like, oh yeah, when Frank, he was 28, he was in this really terrible car accident in which his face was mangled but came out looking amazing. And he lost his shins.
It's one of those situations where like the face gets completely bandaged up and then they slowly unravel all the bandages and it's just Matt Damon.
But I do like the idea that you would just treat your life movie. It's like when there's like sitcoms where they replace an actor or an actress like after season 1, and then they just never address the fact that the person looks different. And within your own movie, I like the idea that there'd just be like one scene where you look one way, and then like next scene, it'll be like 5 years later, little cut scene comes across, door opens, Matt Damon just walks in. People are like, "Oh, Matt Damon's in this movie." Oh, wait, he's Frank. Like,
all right, Sam, I'll give you a different one. Would you rather live in the pouch of a kangaroo or have a pouch with a baby kangaroo inside it?
Wait, what? Why would you want to live in a...
I mean, surely they're both weird, but surely there's only one answer here.
I mean, yeah, surely it's the pouch with a baby. Like, why would I choose to live my life in the
I forgot to mention that the
kangaroo?
tiny kangaroos are racist.
Wait, this is the
Oh, that
icebreaker
just
at a
means you'll get along
university?
really well with Sam.
This is an icebreaker at a university. Oh, I forgot to
it's from
caveat how
Parks and
racist
Rec.
the kangaroo is.
It's Tom Haverford from Parks and Rec.
Alt-right Sam will have no issues with that.
Oh, right, Sam. Yeah. What website were you on earlier, Eddie? Trying to get some information?
BBC.
It wasn't the BBC. You're on Braveheart.
Well, only because it was the link that was suggested for me, just to be clear. I wasn't scanning Breitbart. I did a Google search and they came up.
I don't know.
All right, Sam, we got to get you to actually answer one before we move on.
Well, no, I just answered that, right? Because it was really...
If you were a type of jeans, what type would you be?
I'm just...
Surprisingly, I didn't realize there's so many different types of jeans until my students named
I mean, I know
about 7 or 8
exactly
of
what
them.
type Sam would be. There's one
Skinny?
type that just matches your lifestyle, which is like
is it Wrangler?
skin tight jorts.
Shorts.
Yeah. I mean,
Shorts.
that's got you written all over it, just like that end really high on the thigh.
I don't own a pair of jorts. I'm going.
It's the most surprising information.
What we got?
Get in this
Levi's. We got Wranglers. Let's
No,
go Wranglers.
I think
Those
it's
are brands. Those
Yeah,
are
more
types.
style.
Wait,
Like-
you said a type, right?
Yeah, like
surely a jean
bottom,
type would.
like bell bottom or like boot cut or
Distressed.
yeah, not just brands.
What
But I
about
like, no. You know what? I like that better.
yeah,
Sam the Wrangler.
Sam the Wrangler. I'd just go for like a really bland straight leg.
Oh, nothing about you is straight, Sam.
But absolutely no definition, just pure fabric. Yeah.
No, I'm not having that.
No, you're
Straight
not
leg
having
just
that?
Doesn't work.
Well, like gay leg.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
yeah, gay leg might be a thing now.
Okay. Gay leg type of jean.
Funny. Bent leg.
You're thinking like if it's skinny, you'd say like a carrot. That's what they call it, isn't it? Or
I
spray
believe
on.
just our listeners are going to have excitement for the second time because whenever there's live sports on and the fact that they get to just wait for the podcast to come out 12 hours later for the updates. So we're doing this while Leipzig are playing Atletico Madrid. It's 1-0 to Leipzig at the moment, but Atletico Madrid have just been awarded a penalty.
Oh.
Ooh. Should we? Are we waiting? Are we building tension?
Well, no, because I'm sure it'll take a while. I'll just tell you whether he misses.
What a great commentator you are!
I don't want to
tell me when
I won't talk through the process. I'm just going to sit here.
I don't want to sit here in silence
wait
in case
for the goals.
seemingly there's no VAR review. So okay, all right, I'll tell you. He's stepping up to take it. Goalkeeper's being warned to stay on his line.
Actually, that's a good point because wasn't the
He's taking one deep breath. He's starting his run up, and he scored.
Yes.
that changes
And
your it changes your
and I'm back
from
in it.
earlier, Frank.
So 1-1 with 20 minutes to go. I'll keep you updated on any future developments.
Perfect.
Thanks.
All right.
But does
so
that?
should we?
Speaking of in running, because actually there is an NHL game going on at the moment as well.
Oh, really?
And so maybe this is a good opportunity for us to very quickly just get into Sam's predictions. See who knows more about hockey.
Just
Sam,
remind
a guy who literally here just to get an assessment of Sam of your hockey knowledge. Just let's do a little quick quiz. How many teams are there in the NHL?
I don't know why, but I want to say for some reason it's like 4 groups of 4, so I'm going to go 16.
Okay, close. 31.
Okay.
All right. How many periods are there in an ice hockey game?
3.
Good job.
Correct.
Although I feel like through powers of deduction, the fact that I say periods and otherwise like every other sport is like a half,
Quarters or half.
or a quarter.
There was a logic in there.
There's a kind of clue in that fact.
How long
How many
are they?
players are on the ice
Good question.
for each team?
5.
So close.
5 total.
5 and the guy I forgot about.
Yeah. 5 and a mystery player.
5 and a goalie.
Wait, the goalie's on the ice, right?
Yeah. So it's
He
6
is, yeah.
total.
I suppose he's on like a patch of grass in like the middle of the ice or something.
That would be interesting.
That would be fun.
All right. So do we put Sam the Squid? Now we know we've proven to our listeners, just in case they doubted, that Sam was just the biggest British hockey fan in the world.
So let's just
British
reset
hockey. I
the
know a
scene
lot about
of
British
what
ice
we're
hockey.
doing.
Yeah, so this has all come about because in round 1 of the playoffs, Frank made a prediction. He gave a tip on a bet, picking 4 winners from 4 different series, just who would win the series. He went 0 for 4 in that bet, and
Not very close. With
only
most.
one of them did one of the teams even have a chance of winning that series.
Yes.
So kind of went down spectacularly. And so now this is to test whether or not Sam, a person with 0 hockey knowledge, or Frank, someone who claims to know quite a bit about hockey, watches the NHL, plays in a weird roller hockey league, plays,
been playing since I was 5. I've been playing hockey since I was like 5. Yeah.
listens to hockey podcasts, reads hockey news, really follows the league on a daily basis. Which one of them can make better predictions for round 2 of this year's NHL playoffs.
I love on a sports podcast we're trying to eliminate sports.
Yeah, and the stakes here are that if Sam beats Frank in his predictions, we will never discuss hockey again. Unless something absolutely monumental happens. And then even then we may not allow Frank to comment. Maybe only Sam and I can discuss what actually happened.
There is so much riding on this for my sanity.
Could we talk about field hockey?
Yeah, exactly. We'll go field hockey only.
Yeah. Hey, that's a niche podcast, right?
So, all right, we're just going to go quick fire here.
And why is it called The Squid, this episode? Explain to people who weren't listening to the last episode.
I mean, I can't even properly. It was just basically he's like that Paul the Octopus or whatever it was that was making the predictions.
Such a bland name for an octopus, right?
It was Paul the Octopus, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Paul. It was just hilarious that this because it was a German octopus, wasn't it? It was in like a German
name for a squid,
as opposed to like the squid. The octopus had German nationality or something.
At least Sam the Squid has alliteration. Paul the Octopus is just a bad name all around.
Yeah.
That's like if you let a 3-year-old name something.
What, you think a 3-year-old would call it Paul?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't know a lot of words.
It's a weird name for a pet.
Maybe it's got like an Uncle Paul or something.
So yeah, we're gonna just go quick fire. Sam knows nothing. He's somehow amazingly managed to avoid all NHL news in the past 72 hours.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Sam.
Thanks.
And I'm literally just gonna say the 2 teams in the series, and you tell me you just pick one of them right off the bat. You ready to go?
Yeah. Full team name. So
full team name, yeah.
Full team name. Okay.
Frank, if you could just write down Sam's picks as we go.
Okay.
All right. Series number 1. Philadelphia Flyers, Montreal Canadiens.
Canadians.
Series number 2. Tampa Bay Lightning, Columbus Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets are such a... Are they in blue?
I mean, I'm sure they have one jersey in blue, but they also have one in white because it's the way American sports work.
It's too obvious. The other team.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah,
the other team.
I even forgot them.
Okay, series number 3. Washington Capitals, New York Islanders.
Capitals.
Series number 4. Boston Bruins, Carolina Hurricanes.
I've heard of the Bruins. I'm going to go Bruins.
Vegas Golden Knights or Chicago Blackhawks?
Wait, the Golden Knights?
Yep.
That's a fantastic name. Yeah, Vegas Golden Knights.
Colorado Avalanche?
I saw
or
you
Arizona.
smile.
Colorado Avalanche or Arizona Coyotes?
Colorado.
Dallas Stars or Calgary Flames?
Oh, the Flamers.
St. Louis Blues or the Vancouver Canucks?
The Canucks.
Interesting. I actually don't think there's just also so there's no accusations of any foul play here. Frank sent me his predictions before we recorded the podcast. Sam didn't get to see them. I actually don't think there's a huge number of differences in your predictions
There's only 3 differences in our predictions. A lot is riding on those 3 games.
Yeah.
Which games?
All right, so we'll go through like series by series. So the first one is the Flyers versus the Canadiens. Flyers are the 1 seed. Canadiens are the 8th seed. You took the Canadiens. I take the Flyers in 5. I do not think the Canadiens have a chance. So this is a big one because I am very against the Canadiens in this one.
Well, also for context on this one, the other thing to keep in mind, right, is that Frank made his predictions after a number of game ones had already been played. Not that those necessarily influenced his picks. But
I will say they did not at all influence my picks. I actually had these before.
Easy to say. But anyway. But for context, the Flyers have already won game 1 of this series. So the chance that this is the one where Frank loses is unlikely.
I'm pretty sure it was a pretty close game, if I remember. I don't remember exactly
what it was. 2-1 for the Flyers.
Yeah, okay. This one, Sam, you'll appreciate. This is have you seen the Gritty the mascot at all yet? Have you seen anything about Gritty?
Gritty, no.
Have you, Eddie, seen Gritty?
Yeah, the Flyers mascot.
The really ugly. Because Philly has this reputation, they made a mascot called Gritty, and it's just like this hairy looking beast, and it has like a fake reputation of going around and being mean. Like it'll take the t-shirt gun and shoot people at close range with the t-shirt gun, and it'll like fake punch the other mascots.
It trolls people on Twitter and stuff. It has its own Twitter account, and it's just a massive troll on social media.
I can imagine like the interview process for that job being incredible. Like, are you a massive dick?
Yeah, it's really funny. And then about 2 years ago, they were doing a photo op, and apparently there was a 13-year-old kid with his father who went to get a photo op, and the kid was like hitting Gritty in the head a few times. So when the photo op was over and the kid walked away, Gritty apparently like ran full steam and cocked him in the back with a punch.
Oh, he's like full on. I mean,
and apparently no one else saw this, but the father filed this huge like complaint and then took criminal action. And the Flyers, they had no video, no nothing, no witnesses or anything. But apparently the story goes that Gritty like sucker punched this 13-year-old in the back, and it wasn't just a sucker punch. He ran up like 6 feet and hit him. And they took him to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor said he had a contusion of his back and all this stuff. It was really, really funny.
I tell you what, you laughing about that was amazing, but then you started laughing about this child having contusions in the back, and it changed the laugh.
But I mean, it obviously was like, I doubt it really happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing you go to a very friendly doctor because you're going to go to court, and you want to make sure you have. That's like put the neck brace on just for the court appearance.
But if you could get an image of what Gritty looks like, it makes it even funnier because he's basically just this hairy beast.
He looks a little bit like who's the cereal box monster in the UK?
The Honey Monster.
He looks a little bit like the Honey Monster, but uglier. If you could imagine such a thing.
Uglier than the Honey Monster.
But if you imagine if you got a small child to draw the Honey Monster, it would come out looking a lot like Gritty.
There's Sam. That's what he looks like. I've just share screen with Sam.
The eyes are an absolute nightmare. Like,
yeah, because they
so that's
around,
the picture.
You know?
So here's the kid who got sucker punched in the back. The other thing too, the kid is 13 years old, so he's in high school probably or close to it. I mean, it's pretty pathetic that you got knocked out by a mascot.
Wait, you're going after the kid. I thought you were going to go the other way of like how pathetic of the adult in the costume to have hit a small 13-year-old in the back. But instead you're like, what a loser this 13-year-old is because he got knocked out by
a sucker punch in the back
by a mascot. Yep. Which undoubtedly the mascot has inside of it a very athletic human being.
So another good part of this was I think the Flyers released a statement that they didn't know who was in the suit. So it was almost as if Gritty the mascot was going to be arrested because they didn't know who was in the suit.
Well, the police just raid the place and take away a suit.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. All right. So that's the first one we have different. The second match is Tampa Bay Lightning, the 2 seed, versus the Blue Jackets, the 7 seed. We both took the Lightning in that one. I think I even took the Lightning to sweep that. This was the one last year Tampa Bay was heavily favored to win, not heavily favored, but they were favored to win the Stanley Cup, and they faced the same team, the Blue Jackets, and the Blue Jackets actually swept them in the first round, and it was a huge shock. So I think this time the Lightning are going to be pissed off and come back.
And for more context, Tampa Bay are already one up in the series.
Are you enjoying this, Frank? Because if I win, you'll never do this again.
I know. That's why I got to at least do a little.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is the Capitals, the 3 seed, versus the Islanders, the 6 seed. This is one where we have differences.
Oh.
I took the Islanders based off the fact that their coach, Barry Trotz, was the coach of the Capitals when they won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago. So I think knowing his team, because it's a lot of the same players, and they play a really defensive, boring hockey that I think they can beat the Caps. But whether they can hold down Ovechkin, I'm not sure. But I guess this would be a good shout out to our number 1 superfan, Anton. and just to let him know that his Capitals are going to go down this round. So get your tissues
Sam
out.
doesn't think so. And for more context, again, the Islanders are 1-up in that series at the moment.
I sent this pick. I had this pick written down before that game was even finished.
No. Let's
And
correct
in
this.
fact-
Hold on. No. Let's correct this. You may have had this pick written down before the game was finished. You did not send this pick before the game was finished.
Sorry,
So,
the
I got-
email.
Well,
took
just
a
so
long
everyone
time.
knows, I've got next week's lottery numbers written down, but I won't show them. I won't show them until the lottery has actually been revealed.
Because you've just got all 49 numbers written down, haven't you?
Exactly, 100% true. But both statements
Can't
are
lose.
correct.
I will screenshot the time this document was created, and I can show you it was before that game had finished.
It's okay, Frank. It's all right.
There's a good shot. I've got a good shot with that one then.
Yeah,
That's a good
1-0
one.
down. Like there's
That's
a shot.
a big
You're
one.
assuming you're based.
They
on
were
your,
up. They were up 2 goals in that game too, and then they blew it.
Your Flyers pick is probably going to put you 1 down in the series head to head. This is your best chance to get back to 1-1.
Yeah. And then the last one in the Eastern Conference is the Bruins, the Hurricanes, the 4 versus the 5. We both took the Bruins. I think the Bruins have looked pretty shitty in that round robin, but they're a really good team. I think they'll bounce back, and I'm not a huge fan of the Hurricanes. So
And the Bruins are 1-up in that series.
yeah. Are they?
That was my logic as well, Frank.
They are 1-up. Yeah, they won 4-3 in game 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Then in the Western, we got Golden Knights, Vegas, against the Chicago Blackhawks, who beat the Oilers, which were one of my higher confidence picks of the last round. I did not think the Blackhawks would beat the Oilers. This will probably be the series of the round, I think. These are 2 teams that score a lot. There'll be a lot of action. Blackhawks have like a good mix of the old and the young. So they have 2 real good older players.
You say old and young as if there's some like 85-year-old guy being wheeled out onto the ice.
He's definitely a weak link.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
not like
Patrick
not
Kane is
like-
67.
Not like experience, and it's just like, yeah, no, we still bring this guy out. He's been playing on the team for the last 45 years, but
It's like Paul
And
Newman.
also go the
in
other way
Slapshot.
with it. Just
Yeah,
go the other way with it as well. Just a 13-year-old kid on the ice.
exactly. The kid
Watch out for Gritty.
Yeah, the kid. That's why he attacked him. He knew he was going to be playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs soon after.
Yeah. I mean, if the Blackhawks won, that'd be pretty sweet to watch, but I don't think it's going to happen, and neither does Sam.
The Stanley Cup's that absolutely massive trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, because it just
Yeah.
progressively
It's
gets
heavy.
bigger. But and should also say there that the Vegas Golden Knights are 1-up in the series.
Next one is the Colorado Avalanche 2 seed against my hometown Arizona Coyotes, the 7 seed. In this one, Sam took the Colorado Avalanche. I will have to agree. I think the Avalanche are too good for the Coyotes. I really wouldn't be surprised if the Yotes get swept. I would love to see them win, but I don't really see that happening. I think the Avalanche might win it all.
And Colorado are currently 1-up in that series as well.
Yeah, and that
Having
series
won
was
having won
wait.
game 1 3-0.
it was 0-0 going into the third, and then the Avalanche scored 3 goals in a minute.
So, Frank, you picked all of these before these games.
Yeah,
Supposedly.
Okay,
Yes,
because
I
at
did.
the moment, every team you've picked is 1-up.
Yeah.
But
Shockingly.
for
Leipzig have just scored in the 88th minute. Atletico Madrid are in big trouble. Look
Look at that sigh.
It is-
Oh.
It is a deflected effort from outside of the box. Keeper totally wrong-footed, and it has just floated into the middle of the goal.
oh boy.
Oh, boy. Well,
No,
if
but
if
most
last
of the
night's
teams that
anything to
have
go by.
won were favorite. I think there's only been one non-favorite team to win so far.
2.
Islanders. Oh, and
I say this
Well, I
based
guess-
on what the series odds are at the moment, but I don't know what going into them.
okay. And then the next one is Dallas Stars versus Calgary Flames. You took the Flames. I also took the Flames. I think
And
this will
breaking
be a
news here,
good-
Sam. Guess who's won up in that series?
That one, I have that one bet from the start of the series, so I can show you that one.
I don't want to see bets that you do at the moment, to be honest. Like the form I've heard over the past 3 weeks of this podcast has been diabolical.
I've won 2 of my last 3 bets.
Wow.
About to be 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, going down to 50% after 0 and 10 beforehand. Or
Yeah, that would be an upset, the Flames over the Stars, but the Stars have looked absolutely terrible since returning. And I don't think they've won a game in 11 games. And then the last one is the St. Louis Blues versus the Vancouver Canucks. You have the Canucks. I have the Blues in 6.
and the Blues are up.
And
1-0.
No, I don't think they are.
Amazingly enough, this is the only series in which Frank has chosen a team that is currently behind in the series.
So I actually think out of the 3 ones we differ, I would say I have somewhat of an advantage in 2 because I've got the higher seed in 1 and
No,
I've
you
got
got
the
the lowest seed.
1 up.
You would argue that I would say Frank is the advantage because you'd argue that in one of the ones you disagree on, you're dead in the water almost.
Yeah.
So
If the Canadians win, that would be a very big upset over the Flyers.
So you're then going down to 2 other ones, and
I think I have advantage in both of those.
maybe, but
Well,
you're
You're
gonna need
winning
to
1
win.
and I'm winning 1.
Okay.
You're going to need to win both of them to
And-
win this contest.
I might
That being said, let's also be clear here. If a random person randomly picking NHL series, if Frank only beats that person by 1 series, it doesn't exactly.
But what
speak
happens?
to-
Or does it speak to Sam's brilliance at picking when he picks 6 out of the 8 series correct?
Maybe it does. Now, here's going to be the interesting thing. It also depends overall because there's a possibility here, right, that one of you wins this by getting only 1 series correct.
That is true.
So it will also depend on how well you do on the picks across. But it also just has to be noted that Frank took the favorites and that's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. It's not a criticism in that there's nothing wrong if you think a favorite is going to win, take the favorite. But
I think I took 2 lower seeds.
you took 2 lower seeds, but who are both currently ahead in the series. So
Again, I did not take based off of previous.
I'm not saying that you
scores.
did, but however, if someone is trying to follow your advice when this comes out,
Well, we should have released this earlier.
admittedly, here's the challenge: is if they want to follow your advice, there are a number of games being played.
Because
tonight.
I'll say then, if in that case, how you like to talk about your better value, right now the Capitals are probably a pretty decent value bet over the Islanders. What's the odds on that?
I don't know. It would. I can't
thought you had
access
them
it that
I'll
quick.
tell you what, so when this is done, obviously if you win, I would probably say, considering we got 5 of the 8 the same,
Yeah,
I would probably say we should do this again.
the next
that's fine.
round.
Yeah,
That's
the
fine.
next.
do it
If
the next
Frank
round.
wins, this was close enough that we now have to say Frank has to beat you over the course of the entire Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, we can do that.
If he
Yeah, we'll do
loses,
that.
if he loses, it's over.
But
if
here's
he's
the
only
issue
beating-
now. I guess it doesn't matter so much because it's just a new round.
I
Now
basically
he knows a little.
I have guessed myself into reasonable doubt, and now
It
I
is
have
true. It is true
somewhat
that's-
of a seeding
Yeah.
knowledge. So I'm going to improve. Teams are going to improve. You got to step your game up, Frank.
Or will you get worse, Sam? Which would just imply that hockey just need 0 knowledge. You know, there's a situation here, right, where
yeah.
we watch, the more you know, we'll watch your picks get worse and worse. So we're already have to be like, oh, here's Frank. This guy loves hockey. He couldn't pick like a winner in a 1-horse race. And then we got Sam, knew nothing, did okay. And then suddenly it's like, oh, he started to learn a little bit. Now he can't pick anything either.
That's true. So
Yeah.
the big one that it might come down to is the Blues versus the Canucks. And you have the advantage in that one right now. So that'll be a good one. The Blues, but by the way, Sam, just to make my bet a little more confident, the Blues won the Stanley Cup last year. They
Okay.
do not look good right now coming back from the break, but they did win the Cup last year.
And it also has to be said that right now there is a game in running. And
Which
the
one?
Columbus Blue Jackets are beating Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1 at the moment.
Really?
We've both
Well,
got lightning, right?
You both
Yeah,
have the
both
Lightning.
Tampa.
Yeah, but
Ooh.
But right now it is 2-1.
Yeah,
Blue
Frank,
Jackets.
that's another way you can lose as well, because I guessed 5 of the same ones, but if all 5 of those lose,
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't
no
look
change
good.
for me. I just guessed some teams and didn't get any luck, but you picked these teams and lost. So I think the worst score is definitely a worse reflection on you.
Yeah.
Oh no,
for sure.
100%. I mean,
For
here's
sure.
the reality, right? Based on how this went, Frank has very little to win now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
now
I
we've got to
set
go
myself
again.
up for failure no matter what
Yeah, you got to
by
go
taking
again.
this bet.
We should
Well, you know
probably
what?
do this
I'm happy
the
to
other
put
way as well.
I'm not nearly as big of an NBA fan as you are an NHL fan, but I'm happy to do exactly the same thing with Sam the Squid next week for round 1 of the
Ooh.
NBA playoffs.
Sam,
Now, I
how well
think
do you know basketball?
Sam has a slightly higher level of knowledge about the NBA than he did the NHL coming into
Yeah.
it. Like, there'll be a lot more name recognition on teams. That being
There-
said, you do not follow it closely enough. There are teams that will be really highly seeded that would surprise you for sure.
Yeah. So for my NBA knowledge, I'd probably say because when I gamble on it, it's a very kind of in that moment gamble. But it's an in the moment gamble, right? You don't really have a context. You just know that team is a favorite against that other team. You don't really. They could be the 2 worst teams. So I don't really have context of like how
As
good
anyone
a
listening
team
can
is.
understand, Sam puts a lot of research into his NBA related bets.
No, it was when
I'll take 'em.
it was when when you and I were at university, and
Yeah, so
you
you're
would
going back a
gamble
decade
then.
here. So all I
Yeah.
can tell you is the teams that were good 10 years ago are not all good now anyway. So there's not just name recognition of I remember that team being good, because
I
it
mean,
is
Sam,
literally 10 years ago.
I know for a fact like the Lakers are good.
Sam, who does LeBron James play for?
It's the Lakers, right?
Oh my God, he
He
knows so
knows.
much. He
I
knows
know.
everything. He knows everything. we
And
need to know.
isn't it Golden State were like dominant and then have fallen off a cliff?
Well, they had a number of injuries. Kevin Durant left as a free agent, and then Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were injured in the playoffs last season, and then have both missed. Well, Klay Thompson missed the entire season this year, and so they went from being arguably the best team to arguably the worst this year. But they will be good again next year because I'll have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry back, and they'll also have a high draft pick.
All right, let's do that. Okay, so Sam the
It's
Squid can
not
do
quite
NBA against
it's not
Eddie as well.
quite yeah. It's not quite the same, but it's not far off. You got a little bit more knowledge. I probably have a little bit less NBA knowledge than Frank has NHL knowledge. So maybe that evens out in a way.
Yeah, this could be good. Test his random picks.
Yeah, I'm trying
Sam,
to think.
do you know Laura Branigan, the singer?
No.
No. Why are we doing random picks on her albums?
No, because I was just thinking about the Blues versus the Canucks. It's the song Gloria. Do you know the song Gloria by any chance?
I don't
like when they say the GLORAIA.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Maybe.
What's the song?
Because it was the Blues theme song last year. So if I win, I'm gonna play that song all day when I see you.
Okay. Just not on the podcast because we don't have the rights to that music.
Oh, then I'll have to sing it to him.
Yeah, even that could be an issue.
We're running a tight ship at the moment. We can't be splashing cash on music rights.
I don't want to get sued by a singer I've never heard of.
I'm trying to think of a way that we could do like Frank doing. We could do like Frank doing like a European sport, but it's tough because like cricket. How do you just be a selection, right? You can't really be.
Frank knows a decent amount about cricket. I mean, I know he knows very little about county cricket, but he would still.
I don't know anything about county cricket.
You might still be able to do some name recognition, and you might have enough knowledge of like where do certain England cricketers play. I think if push came to shove, you probably know a little bit more than you think you do. Also, I don't know how
subconsciously.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the same time, it's not like either of us closely follows county cricket anyway, so it would just be a bunch of people who know nothing.
It would be
about
everyone guessing.
Just
the podcast would basically be us for half an hour shouting out random counties of England and Wales.
Thinking,
you know what cricket did just start back up? The Caribbean League.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite cricket league.
Yeah, one of my favorite leagues as well. But no, it will be interesting to see what happens. So we'll obviously by Tuesday, nothing will have been settled in the series, but a couple teams could be close to winning their series by Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
we'll have a better understanding.
How often are they playing at the moment? Like once every 2
other
days?
day,
Or
basically.
every other day.
Yeah, like every other day. I like that we have only a few different ones though, because it makes it easier to follow. Like easier to track than if we had 6 different ones. It'd be kind of confusing. Like you're up on this one, you're up on that one, but I'm up on this one. With 3, it's pretty good, and it's a definitive winner.
It is a shame. It is a shame that Sam went against the grain on maybe the heaviest favorite. That's the only shame.
But one that's what happens when you pick randomly.
It is. It almost proves. It almost proves that the squid has no knowledge, but it does.
I love how I have lost identity as this podcast has gone on. So I'm now.
We were overwhelmed. Like the feedback to our podcast after every episode is incredible, but we were overwhelmed with Sam the Squid merch requests. Sayat, we're like, should we call our next car the Squid?
The Squid.
We've got a lot of things in discussion at the moment, but I guess now we've been obviously talking about a sport that is back. Maybe gives us an opportunity. We touched on the college football situation in the last episode a little bit. That we recorded that on the day when a number of conferences and teams and colleges were meeting to try and decide what the future of what this college football season would look like. And it looks as if college football will not happen, at least not until the spring. They are saying that
for certain conferences.
For certain, there are a couple conferences still holding on. That seems unrealistic, but it seemed maybe in the spring something would be possible. But then you just have to question if I don't even know if you're coming back in the spring, you're ruling out any seniors, right? Anyone who would potentially declare for the draft at that moment in time. Why would you come back? Well,
Day, the coach for Ohio State, he's said he's fine with going to the spring, but he wants to ensure that they start as soon as possible in the spring so that those students or athletes could play before the draft and before the combine, so that way they can get that last year to show what they could do and things like that. And he had even said that, this could be something for Field, like Justin Fields and stuff, which, again, we've talked about this last podcast. If you're that high of a draft pick, I wouldn't risk playing this year, but I definitely wouldn't risk playing in the spring when it's so close. Because if you get injured in the spring, forget it. No one's going to draft you.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say no one's going to draft you, because we've just seen with Tua that you're right. You'll get drafted, but you'll probably hurt your draft stock.
Yeah.
And also, more to the point, it would just be, even if it doesn't hurt your stock, it's just the idea that if you picked up a relatively severe injury, it means you're probably missing the start of the NFL season. Whereas if you got injured in October, you have almost a full year to recover. So almost any injury you get that's kind of recoverable gives you time to be fit for the start of the NFL season. Whereas if you're suddenly playing a game in May and you pick up a serious injury, you're not going to be ready. You're definitely not going to be fit for like preseason and all those kind of workouts before the NFL season starts.
Yeah, I just think the strange thing is that conferences like the Big 12 and the ACC are holding on to the fact that they're going to play in the fall. And I just don't understand. Maybe you do, but is it really, the big argument was, would you be a national champion at that point? And I don't know. It's a weird thing to crown someone when half of college football isn't playing in it. So I guess they would be the national champion that year. But then is there a spring national champion as well?
Yeah, that would be the interesting one. I guess the argument would be that most teams don't matter anyway, realistically, to the national championship. So you're only going to be missing a handful of contenders. Now, they might be really big teams that would have otherwise been, up there with the favorites. But it's not like, oh God, Hawaii's not going to be playing. How could we possibly crown someone national champions if Hawaii hasn't had an equal shot at winning as well? But who knows? Like Jerry Jones Jerry Jones has come out and said that he's looking forward to the Dallas Cowboys playing their games in front of their fans this year.
Is this the opportunity to start a semi-pro developmental football league to finally get rid of NCAA football? If there was ever an opportunity, this is the opportunity. Do we have enough capital ourselves to start up a
the three of
developmental
us?
Football? Yes.
The three of us? No.
Really?
I'm going to just go ahead and rule.
The Big Chill Football
Chill
Association.
League, the BCFL. BCFA. I'm just going to say, well, no, we definitely do not have enough capital for that. Not until that SAYAT sponsorship deal
Come
comes
on,
through.
SAYAT.
In which case, the SAYAT Big Chill Football Association, now that has quite the ring to it. So SAYAT, hurry up.
A couple of $100 for those land rollers. Get them on eBay.
Yeah, exactly. If I sell all my land rollers, we might have enough. But I get you touch on a couple of interesting points there. So I have heard that they are already putting together some sort of plan where they're going to do like a 7v7 league for college football players so that they can still sort of show off their skills in a kind of less risky situation. So a kind of almost like flag football league, but it allows to show their athleticism and how they read the game. The second thing is obviously The Rock just bought a stake in the XFL. Yeah. So if you're The Rock, is this when you're just pumping in the idea to a bunch of these players of like, hey, come and play in the XFL?
I think this is when you pivot the XFL to be a developmental league. Like, you already have a lot of the infrastructure in place. Make it the alternative to going to school and not getting paid to play football, but having rich white owners make millions off of you, and pivot it and say, hey, now you have a league you can play in, you can make money, you can develop your talent. The NFL is still going to take you. You're going to get tons of exposure. Boom.
Yeah,
I think
it's be like, hey,
sell.
Look, have a rich Pacific Islander make money off of you instead.
Yeah,
it's way more.
A rich, jacked Pacific Islander.
And if you don't want to play, he'll pin you down until you do. But I mean, it's an interesting one, right? Because and that's always been the goal. Whenever you've heard people talk about what's the long-term vision for the XFL, or any of these leagues that have sprung up at different moments in time, the goal has always been to be the feeder league for the NFL. Like they understand that they're never going to become the dominant football league in America. Like, it's just never going to happen. So the goal has always been to be in the same way that the NBA has. I mean, what is now the G League? That's the long-term plan. And when you think The Rock, I mean, the valuation of the XFL based on where The Rock invested in it is not worth a lot. So if there is a situation where they start to get some college football players going in there with the idea that if they play 1 year there or 2 years there, if they're younger, and that they could get some sort of film so they can improve their draft and show NFL teams what they could do, then yeah, you could kind of have the end of the college football concept almost overnight.
How does the XFL concept work? Because it's one of those things that I always hear like yearly that not try to get off the ground, but it just never seems to go anywhere. And I guess you always hear it being talked about, but it never does anything. But is the premise like the same? Like, you would create franchises? What would actually happen with that format?
Yeah, it's the same kind of basic concept. They have franchises. I mean, the issue with it, right, is that there's every 2 or 3 years, there seems to be another competitor. Like, there was the AAF last year or 2 years ago, which was actually a client of the company that I work for, and they went bankrupt pretty swiftly. They weren't even able to finish their season. They just went bankrupt mid-year. The challenge is, right, can you get people interested in spring football? Can you have people? And the AAF was an interesting one because they had lots of former NFL players, or players who had a realistic hope of making it back on an NFL team, who were using it as an opportunity to showcase the ability that they still had. So there was a lot of talent in the league. People just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, the more I think about this, I would be disappointed if something like the XFL didn't at least try to do this. I mean, right now is such a good. you could just start pulling kids in. And once, because the issue is you need that first domino to drop. And there's no better time for it to drop where students start choosing a semi-pro league over college than right now. You know, you get those seniors in, you get them, and then next thing you know, you'll get more and more people skipping school and going right to this developmental type league. I mean, it is a perfect opportunity. I hope someone's doing it.
It is. I mean, I guess the risk is, right, there have been players in the past who have turned down the NFL or who've turned down the NBA at moments when there were options to go and play elsewhere. It's never aged well. Time and time again, it's been, that was a mistake. You should not do that. So, and there's the other risk too. It's like, as we all know, the NFL is very much willing to blackball players if they do not feel that the XFL is playing a part, that kind of playing a role in the way that the NFL would find acceptable. You could easily see, hey, you can by all means go play in the XFL, but don't think you're ever going to get drafted for an NFL team anytime soon.
Yeah. I imagine a clout would prevent that. So it's got to in some way conform to the kind of NFL standard for it to do anything. And I guess that's permanently restrictive, right? Can't do anything about that because the NFL is just going to screw you if you try anything different or do anything that goes against what their flow is or their intention, I guess.
Well, I mean, and I'm not saying you make it basically the XFL with college kids, because then that's insane. You're going to have 19-year-old kids running full speed, just smashing people on punt returns, getting CTEs and concussions when they're teenagers still. But I think if you can pivot what the XFL is now into a more tame, developmental focused league, like have an age limit. Say you have to be between 18 and 25 or 18 and 23, something like that. You know, put those kinds of guidelines in. And I mean, again, it doesn't have to be the XFL.
Or if you're 13 and you can, if you're 13 and you can win a fight against one of the mascots, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Gritty owns you, you're not allowed to be in the XFL.
That's the real move, right? They start a franchise in Philadelphia. Gritty is the owner, general manager, and head coach. And he just runs the show.
And enforcer.
Exactly.
And it's written in the contracts that once a season you get sucker punched unexpectedly in the back of nowhere.
Kicker and punter as well.
It would be interesting to see him kick.
What's the X stand for?
Extreme.
I don't know. Extreme, I think.
I think it might be extreme.
It's wrong.
Which is, again, why you can't have
what
18-year-old college kids playing in an extreme football league.
When Eddie was talking about kind of like, you know, people running at each other full pelt, I was like, well, surely it's extreme, right? Like, don't give them helmets. Make it extreme. Or painful. Or brutal. Give it an edge. Make it fun to watch. Get gritty. Just get a load of gritties on the pitch. Just absolutely go to town.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the bigger issue, which is a boring one that don't necessarily want to talk about, is the whole centralization of the NCAA and the powers they have over the conferences and how some conferences can opt out and others can't, and what that means. You know, that's, to me, I don't think is the most interesting of topics, but I just think right now it's crazy to think you have two major conferences that aren't going to play and at least two major conferences that are still full steam ahead. It's going to make for a very weird football season.
Yeah, and I mean, also a topic that's not really been touched on by whenever I've seen it covered, right? The wider implications for college sports as a whole. Because obviously the criticism has always been college football players, you know, they make a ton of money off college football. Those programs make millions, if not billions of dollars. The players deserve to get paid. They pay head coaches, you know, they're usually the highest paid state employee, all those kind of things. But then there are a lot of sports, and I'm not saying that college football players shouldn't be paid, but there are obviously a lot of sports, other sports within the college system that are basically supported and financed by the success of college football or the success of college basketball. So what implications this has for whether or not, I know that, for example, some schools have already started canceling certain sports programs. I know that like Stanford canceled a few. So, you know, are you going to have these sort of more niche, smaller sports that are totally unprofitable Are they going to go out the window? Are people not going to get scholarships anymore? All of these things, that's, a topic that obviously has to come way down the line, and you don't know what the future of college sports, of college football is. But this could just completely change the sort of collegiate sports landscape, and also just the American college system as a whole in a way.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a few things there. So the first thing would be they just released, I think today, a statement ESPN did that the Power 5 schools, if college football is canceled, would stand to lose about $4 billion collectively. That the schools are taking that money from football, ticket sales, memorabilia sales, all that kind of stuff. It definitely will hurt the smaller sports because most successful athletic programs at universities are self-funded. I can tell you personally, the university I am currently at, we are in the negative. So our university kicks money back to the athletic department to sustain them. But most good schools, that's not the case. Like Penn State, Ohio State, their athletic department is paying themselves through ticket sales, stuff like that. But if fall sports are canceled, then how much money do you need to keep that fall sport going if they're not traveling, if they're not playing? So those littler sports might not be so much affected because they're just not happening this year. So I guess that's the other part we have to consider is if they cancel everything, then you don't have to pay for your plane tickets for the fencing team to go to nationals. You don't have to pay for, all these different traveling and all, equipment and all of that. So, but yeah, I mean, they will lose a ton of money.
Yeah, no, I think this year, obviously, they don't have to make those decisions. But next year when it rolls around and when they're trying to budget for, the next few years, and then they start to think, wow, we're going to have this huge drop in revenue in college football, or in some cases in college basketball. That revenue is gone. And now we've got these other sports that generate, little to no revenue and are just sort of black holes for the colleges. At that moment in time, do you continue to budget for them, and do you continue to invest in them? That's going to be the real question.
So one of the questions I was going to ask, if you had to cut a sport, Eddie, what's the sport on the top of your list that you're cutting from the NCAA?
Oh, that's tough.
That is a tough one.
I mean, obviously it would depend on the school, right? Because you have schools where weird sports are surprisingly popular. So it might be
I was going at it more of just from your general.
NCAA. It's off the top of my head. It's so difficult to even think of it. I'd have to think of a sport. To be honest with you, I'd probably get rid of basketball.
Wow.
Just because my theory would be like most people going into the NBA are one and done, right? So just forget about the concept of college basketball and just either you're going to the NBA or maybe you play elsewhere. You have that obviously would be denying a ton of people the experience of playing college basketball who will never go to a higher level, which is the vast majority of people playing, college basketball. So that would be the shame. But if I, off the top of my head, just had to pick one that I get rid of, it's the one that in a way probably adds the least value.
No more March Madness? Are you even American, Eddie?
1, no more March Madness. 2, no, I'm not American. Born and raised in San Francisco, as Tim always likes to say, but somehow not American.
Yeah, I bet you were raised in San Francisco.
I don't know what that means.
All right. Yeah, I think that's enough COVID talk then for this podcast. It seems like every podcast now we have our
Wow, that's probably going to be a theme for about the next 2 years. But
yeah. No, the vaccine's going to be here next week.
There's 2 things. Yeah, the Russian vaccine.
Oh, the Russian one, yeah.
There's 2 things that I'll say about it, though. One, I do think in general, people, I think, and it's the way the news cycle works, right? People are they want to have a really concrete take on whatever the latest development is. And what other sports have shown is that in a sense, if you are patient and you just sort of put together a plan, it is possible to come back and play. And I'm not saying in the case of college football that will be the thing, but like there is this tendency at the moment that every week it's like, okay, baseball season's over. It's like, well, baseball's still going. Okay, no way the NBA is coming back. All right, the NBA came back. Like, no way they're playing the Champions League this year. Okay, they're finishing off the Champions League. Like, time and time again, if anything, what it shows is These are obviously multi-billion-dollar sort of leagues and activities, and they will figure out a way to have the sports play.
Yeah.
And I'd also like then talking about a sport that probably will be coming back. We already touched on it with Jerry Jones saying that he wants everyone to be. He wants the Cowboys to play in front of their home fans this year, which would be great because, I mean, what is that stadium, like 90,000, 100,000 seater stadium, just packed, having them all packed in? But the big NFL news from today is that Kittle signed his contract extension with the 49ers, 5-year, $75 million deal. So
is a Kittle contract a big deal to anyone?
I mean, I'm curious about this. Is this just your news?
No. I think right. The argument has to be that the two teams that are primed to make it back to the Super Bowl are the two teams that were in the Super Bowl last year. I mean, there's a solid argument for saying the Niners are stronger now than they were a year ago.
You are so ridiculous.
Why are they weaker? Why are they weaker?
What? Well, they're weaker because mentally they went into the Super Bowl thinking they had a chance, only to get Mahomes in that second half, and now they're devastated. You don't come back from being Mahomes like that.
I mean, we it's impossible for us to say because there's no history of it. So far, it's the first.
They will
team
start
Mahomes,
the history.
It's the first team Mahomes has ever beaten in the Super Bowl. So we'll have to see whether or not it's possible to recover from such a devastating blow. But they're saying all the right things. All of those players are saying all the right things.
They're not doing the right things because the last time I saw, Kittle got himself a halo tattoo on his arm, I think. So that could be the biggest sign that they're in a straight nosedive down when you're getting Halo video game tattoos.
It's a pretty big tattoo as well. Like it's not just like
it wasn't
tiny.
It wasn't his first tattoo, in fairness.
Well, he has small arms, so it makes it look big.
Wow!
For a tight end, he's got tiny arms.
Oh, wow! Shots fired by Frank. Hopefully, Kittle doesn't listen to this, or else he'll be flying down to Arizona next week.
Oh, I would love to have an arm lifting contest with him. If he wants to do my arms day, he can come bring it on. I'm not scared of Kittle's workouts.
Really?
Wow. The confidence.
I'll put a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog tattoo on my arm, and we'll see who wins.
The tattoo doesn't make you stronger.
Yeah, no. Frank.
Well, it doesn't make him better. I can tell you that much.
No, but I mean that would be the risk, right? If one day we ever get this to happen, you would have to get a tattoo of George Kittle's choosing.
If what? If you lose,
if you lose to him in this,
or if he successfully completes your arms day and says that was okay.
Fair enough.
Like scathing judgment on your arms day.
Sam, I got a question for you. What do you think is a worse statement of character? Getting a Halo tattoo on your arm or riding through Paris in Land Rollers?
I mean, you can hide a tattoo, right? If you're on Land Rovers, you're going to be seen.
You can't hide a wheelchair on.
Why do you keep calling them Land Rovers? I wish I was riding through multiple Land Rovers. Also, you can hide a tattoo. You know the other thing you can do? You can take Land Rollers off. They weren't permanently attached to my feet.
No, but Eddie, that's part of the allures. You can ride them through the grass and through the sand and through the water.
The sands of Paris.
You can wheel on water in Land Rollers.
Let's not go overboard, right? I'm not gonna have the good name of Land Rollers just dragged through the mud, which you could roll through the mud very comfortably on Land Rollers, but I'm not gonna have.
So you're not gonna have the name dragged through the mud, but you're going to willingly roll through the mud on them.
Yeah, just to show how smooth a ride it is.
It won't be smooth.
People, you know the thing when you get in Land Rollers, people will be watching you and they go like, "There's no way that guy's going straight towards sand. There's no way. He's an idiot. He's going to get caught in the sand. He's going to fall over." And then you just smoothly glide over the sand. Sometimes people faint.
If someone said to me, like, what is the worst shape in wet mud to get out, I would say a wheel. So I'm really doubtful in wet mud. land rollers could
I mean,
do
it depends on
anything
how thick.
except sink.
I'm not saying that you could skate over 3 feet of mud. Like, I'm not. It's all relative, right?
That sounds like a backtrack.
It's not a backtrack.
I want to, but no, I'm going for the Halo tattoo. I don't think it's bad. Yeah,
Oh, you don't think it's bad?
Better. No, I think it's fine.
Better.
I don't get it. I just think
I
having
agree.
a couple of wheelchairs on your feet in a major capital city is just only going to inhibit your character.
I'll also say another thing. You guys don't know that I don't also have a Halo tattoo.
Nothing would surprise me anymore, Eddie.
Whilst true, I'm really doubtful.
Maybe I have a tattoo of Master Chief with his wearing some land rollers.
It scares me a little. You know his name is Master Chief.
No, that's a really high-ass video game name.
But also, yes, I've played Halo. I mean, Halo, same with Kittle. Halo came out at a pretty key moment in my life.
Key.
Well, just in terms of like your interest in video games and how much you're going to play it. There's, obviously there's games that come out now that just would not even sort of get onto my radar. Whereas a huge game coming out when you're in your early teens or whatever, obviously all of my friends played it. Everyone played it. It's a little bit of a different experience.
So what was the bigger experience, Halo or GoldenEye?
Ooh, that's tough. See, I never actually owned GoldenEye. So GoldenEye was something I only ever played at friends' houses.
Did you own an N64?
No, I didn't have a video games the first video games console I owned was the Dreamcast.
Wow, we've talked about this. It's a very weird choice for your first video game console.
And I loved it. Most underrated console
you and 8 other
time.
people.
No. I'm going to agree. That was an underrated console. That was the first console with internet access.
And you say me and 8 other people, Frank, but the only reason I don't still have my Dreamcast is because a bunch of kids broke into my parents' house maybe 8 years ago, and one of the few things they stole was my Dreamcast. So that's how.
Wait, how do you know it was a bunch of kids?
Because they knew they knew roughly who did it.
So why didn't they get it back?
I let them keep it. I'm that kind of guy. I was like, you obviously need it more than I do.
No, you're not. You're like the gritty kind of guy that will go and sock them in the back of the head.
Yes, agreed.
You wouldn't let these children off.
No,
You'd probably get the Dreamcast off them and then throw it at them.
They were never caught, but they knew it was a bunch of kids who'd been causing like trouble in the neighborhood.
Are you doing some sort of like?
Was it East Philadelphia? Were they born and raised?
Starting the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was Will Smith. Will Smith stole my Dreamcast.
Maybe it is gritty. It's coming full circle.
Wait. So
exactly. Will Smith was wearing a gritty outfit. He went to my parents' house. He stole my Dreamcast.
What I don't get here, though, is one of the few things they stole. So I'm imagining in a house, there's the usual things like televisions, wallets, whatever. But they went for the Dreamcast.
Well, I think there were no wallets there because no one was home. And no one was living in the house at the time. So there were no wallets there. But yes, there was a television and stuff. But I mean, it's a little bit harder to steal a TV than it is to steal a Dreamcast.
Well, the other thing with Sam's point is I have to imagine your Dreamcast was in a box.
So I think it was in a box in one of the few rooms they happened to go into.
It's not like your parents just put out your Dreamcast on the coffee table.
Yeah, it was on full display for anyone who entered into the house. And they would make sure that when you came to visit, they would go, just so you know, that is a Dreamcast.
Please don't steal it.
Please don't steal it. You cannot use it. You cannot play with it. It is a treasured item and is just to be looked at.
Virtua Tennis was fantastic on the Dreamcast.
Virtua Tennis was great. Crazy Taxi was great.
Crazy Taxi was fantastic.
Some of the Sonic the Hedgehog games were great. Overall, the idea that like the little display unit on the middle of the console, whilst I never totally on the middle of the controller,
the memory card.
With the memory card, and then also you could play some aspect of your games on the go.
Yeah.
I never kind of fully understood that bit of it because I never used it for anything other than as a memory card, but it was still a kind of groundbreaking concept, right?
Yeah. But going back to your point, Frank, I'd say if you owned an N64, you owned GoldenEye. It was almost like hand in hand.
For sure.
And Halo seemed to be a bit more, not out of nowhere, but it came so, it basically kind of defined that shooter genre when it came out, but I don't think there was that much fanfare to it. It came out, everyone realized how good it was, and then the story drove how good the franchise has become.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would definitely say GoldenEye, but I think N64 as a whole shaped a lot of my childhood between GoldenEye and Mario Kart, Mario Party. Those were all classics we used to play all the time whenever people came over. We would play Mario Party like all night, basically.
Yeah.
I love that game.
You would destroy your hands with the joystick when you were doing like the movement.
That one. Eddie, who did you used to be when you played Mario Kart?
Oh, Donkey Kong.
Or no, wait.
Donkey Kong.
Is either Donkey Kong or Bowser?
No, I
He
was
could be
either
a good Bowser.
No,
I
he's
was
Pete.
either Donkey Kong or Yoshi.
Yoshi had the most annoying sound. It was like
that was really.
It wasn't even a sound.
That was impressive. That was a really good impression.
Donkey Kong was that was his celebration thing.
Wow. What a hidden talent you have there, Frank.
Fantastic. What else can you do?
That's about it. That's my icebreaker question. What's a talent that you have no one knows? I can make the Donkey Kong voice for Mario Kart.
Do your best Donkey Kong impression. Go.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. And I'm still a big fan of Mario Kart. Obviously, continued to play it on other consoles. Used to play it in the office. My job before this, we used to play it, I'd say like 45 minutes a day.
You guys in these startups. Must be nice to work for a startup. Ping pong, video games, beer in the middle of the day.
To be clear, I have none of those benefits now. We don't have a ping pong table. We don't have a video games console. We've got none of that.
Frank, you don't have beer in a day?
And plus my office is my house.
No, highly frowned upon on a public university.
Yeah.
So, my bet is done, huh? Madrid Atletico is officially out.
Atletico Madrid are out, so PSG will be playing Leipzig in the semifinal.
Oh, that's an easy route.
Of course, PSG goes through.
Hey, let's
You would
talk
expect
about
so. You would expect so, especially assuming that Mbappe, who obviously came on as a sub last night, you're assuming he'll be a little bit fitter, so he probably will be able to start. So near full strength PSG should be able to beat them.
Yeah, that was the complete game last night, wasn't it? It was basically Mbappe comes on and completely changes it. You got to feel sorry for Atlanta in that way because they were completely toe for toe for almost all of it until Mbappe came on and completely changed the dynamic. But losing like that, ouch. Got to feel.
I mean,
bad.
I think they had themselves to blame to a degree because they did just do the thing of gradually sat deeper and deeper and invited more and more pressure onto themselves. And just time and time again, you see teams do this and you just know, look, you're just guaranteeing in the final 10 to 15 minutes, PSG are going to have 2 or 3 very good goal scoring opportunities. And you're either relying on a brilliant piece of defending or goalkeeping or them to miss the chance. And, you know, as it turned out, in the end, the goals came from unlikely sources. I don't think anyone would have thought that those were going to be the players who scored PSG's 2 goals. And I see living in Paris, Choupo-Moting has become this cult hero overnight, which is bizarre because
he's terrible.
He wasn't good enough for Stoke, but now he's.
I was going to say, didn't he play for Stoke?
Like a
year Stoke, ago? Yeah, and he signed for PSG on a free transfer, and it was basically to get them into they had requirements over where a player was developed or his nationality, and so they signed Choupo-Moting basically to fit the squad requirements that they needed to have. So that was the only reason why he's really ended up at PSG. And he's done virtually nothing. I mean, I think the only PSG career highlight he had up until last night was he had that moment when he missed the ball he managed to miss from 2 centimeters out or whatever he managed to do.
Yeah, he sliced it over, right?
No, he literally stopped the ball on the line.
That's it. Yeah. Well,
It's going in anyway, and he tries to claim the goal, and in the process, makes possibly the best goal line stomp you'll ever see.
Yeah. But yeah. I found a fun fact out about that. So Atalanta are the fourth team to be leading going into the 90th minute and lose. So excluding extra time, this is just injury time loss. Can you remember the games?
In what? In the
Champions
League?
League. In the Champions League. Atlanta
Say it again.
Say it again. So Atlanta are like the fourth team to be leading going into the 90th minute, but actually lose the game. And this isn't including extra time. So injury time is included, obviously, but it's not like a team scores one and then beat you in extra time.
Yeah.
This is like lost the game going into it. One of the games is really famous for a team doing that.
The Bayern United Champions League final.
Yeah. And then the two others, one of them's pretty, you won't get one of them. But there's another one that's pretty famous.
Was there a Ronaldo
one?
Where Ronaldo scored like 2 in extra?
Nope.
I seem to recall a team doing it.
Time.
I seem to recall a team doing it to qualify not that long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I seem to recall someone, and I can kind of almost picture the goals, but I can't think of who the teams are.
Your ballpark's probably close enough to warrant it. It was Malaga Dortmund.
Yes.
2013,
exactly. I remember where I was when I watched that.
Go on.
I was at home on my computer.
Wow,
what a story.
I thought it was going to be some amazing thing, like I was on holiday in the Philippines and we found this bar.
No, but the best one of those I have is I remember watching, we were in Key West after one of my good friend's wedding, and we were super hungover, and we went to, my parents also happened to be there, and we went to this bar that's known for their brunches, but you have to wait because it's super popular, so you just pound mimosas at the bar before it opens. And we were sitting at the bar drinking mimosas, watching England versus the West Indies in the T20, where Stokes gave up 6 to lose it in the last
the World Cup final.
Yep. I thought it was the T20.
It was the T20 World Cup final.
Yeah, the T20 World Cup final, yeah. I'll never forget because even my dad was like, "Oh, England's got this, right? Yeah, we got this. They got this. Yeah, for sure." And then we're watching on our little screen, it's just like 6. Ooh, I don't know. They still could have it. 6.
Carlos Brathwaite, I think, was the...
Yep, it was. Brathwaite.
Who hit the 6s. Just because you can remember it because of the sort of... I remember the commentator being like, Carlos Brathwaite, remember the name.
Yeah,
he has done very little. He's done very little since that moment. But he was right. I would go on to remember his name.
That was one of those I remember where I was situations because I was actually on vacation.
And the final game was Chelsea Bayern Munich.
Chelsea Bayern Munich. When?
Like 2004, I think it was. It wasn't the year they won it because they. I actually don't know. Truth be told, I didn't even look up because they only. When I saw the stat, they only gave the matches. So I know Chelsea when they won the Champions League beat Bayern, but
they beat Bayern in the final though.
Yeah,
and they beat them on penalties.
So I don't even. It could, to be fair, it could have even been Bayern that did it over Chelsea, but
possibly because when they Chelsea did score late. Drogba scored from the corner, the header. But they equalized, then they went to extra time, then Bayern missed the penalty, then they went to the penalty shootout.
Yeah. So...
Oh, we forgot my top 5. I had a hockey one for us.
Oh,
okay.
Top 5.
Enjoy it. This might be the last hockey coverage of your life. So make the most of this top 5.
I'll give you choice.
All right.
You want to name... the original. Well, actually, it'd be better if Sam could do this. Oh, I have no idea if he'd be able to.
There's no point. He's not going to be able to name the original 6.
But he might be able to pick where they are.
Can I guess Can I just guess the city?
Yeah, I'll let you that. So there was the original 6 hockey teams that made up the NHL. Eddie, do you know them definitively?
I know. I'd say 5 of them for sure. There'd be
Okay.
1 or 2. And to be clear, Sam, they are all current NHL teams.
They're still
They're
NHL
not.
teams.
They're not defunct. So it's not some bizarre thing like it's the Boston sort of
All right.
Blackhawks.
So I'm going to go. I think New York's like a really easy one to say.
That being said,
Well, the
there's
issue
2
is-
teams in New York.
So there's the
Yeah.
Islanders and the
Rangers.
It was the Rangers. For some reason, I was going to put Rangers as like baseball.
Or the
There
Hungers.
is a baseball. The Texas Rangers are a baseball team.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go somewhere weird like Tampa.
Wait, so
Wow.
hold on, real quick.
1 second.
Hold on.
a second.
Let's step back one second.
Oh my god!
Step back.
You think when ice hockey, when they were like, where should we put? Where is ice hockey just naturally thriving? Oh,
Sam,
Florida.
I'll give you a hint. This started in 1917.
Just think
basically.
of. You can basically start off by saying, "Where is it cold?" That's a good starting point.
All right. Let's do
Or
like
1940s, but some of the first teams were around since like the 1917.
So there's going to be like a.
So stepping back, you had New York. The Rangers are one of the original 6.
Okay. It wouldn't be a
Tampa Bay.
Canadian team. I'm not going to
Tampa
go for
Bay
a
is as
Canadian
bad of a
team.
guess as you could have made, almost.
Yeah, not your best effort.
I did say somewhere random. Philadelphia,
No, Philadelphia is not an original 6.
Washington.
Washington
Decent.
is not an original 6.
Now
don't
here's the
wanna-
question. Hold on.
I don't
hold
wanna
on.
say a Canadian
Frank,
team.
Hold on, Frank. How many more guesses until he gets one right? This is now the game. How many?
I say the next one he guesses right.
All right, I'm going to go Chicago.
Yes, Chicago Blackhawks are a hockey original 6 too. You might get. I'm gonna say he gets another one right
Seattle.
right now. Seattle. Why you do that to me? Washington was barely even a state.
Well, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Why wouldn't Seattle be like a good guess?
Well,
Big
they
city,
only
cold.
just got an NHL team, so the Seattle Kraken
Literally a
will be
month
the-
ago.
Yeah, we'll be in the NHL next year, but up until this point, have not had an NHL team. And honestly,
Wait.
you don't know anything about the NHL. But if you think of the trend, you're basically going to have. This is the only. I mean, it's a big clue. But
Think
you're
of where it's
basically
cold
limiting-
in America.
It's like the northwest of North America, because you also just have to think of the feasibility of
northeast.
travel. Northeast, sorry, yeah. You have to think about the feasibility of travel here, which is like they weren't in the they weren't flying across, taking like 7 planes, commercial planes, to go from like play a game in Chicago to go and play a game in Seattle.
But Seattle does now have a team as of last month called the
Boston.
Seattle Kraken. Boston is correct. They are an original 6. So you have 3.
I'll even we'll give a second shout out to a listener, and if you think of Phil, you should be able to get one of the teams, Sam.
That doesn't help.
He has shown you this tattoo before, and he almost always wears a hat from this city.
I don't take note.
All right, we'll
of
give you
things
one
like
more
that.
hint. There are Canadian teams.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go like Montreal.
Montreal Canadiens are an original.
Okay. So
Let's
what?
just give him. Let's just put him and
Let's
put him
let's
and
take
the
him out
listeners
back and
out
shoot
of
him.
put him and the listeners
Yeah.
out of their misery, and just
Yeah.
say the remaining teams that you did not get were the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings.
Yes. What does Phil have a tattoo of?
He has the Detroit symbol on tattoo. Detroit. I think of the Detroit Tigers logo. The D,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I believe. I don't know if that's just, but yeah, I think that's what it is.
The other one I was going to say was what 5 teams have won the most Stanley Cups?
Yeah, I mean, we would have a similar guessing game for Sam
Yeah.
going on. He'd
Can
be like
you name it?
the Hawaii. Can I name them?
Yeah,
The Canadians,
our first.
the
You have slipped in so much NHL airtime on this podcast.
yeah, I know. Well, just
It's-
I
like
love it.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is technically fifth.
Oh, you're not giving it to me.
No, I'll give it to you because there's 2 ties for fourth and 2 ties for fifth.
Chicago
technically, they're sixth.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, they're tied for fourth.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
They're second.
Boston Bruins.
They are tied for fourth. Missing third.
It's an easy one, honey.
Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit Red Wings are third. Yep. And the other one would be the Oilers, where the other one tied for sixth. Yeah, not bad. It's basically the original 6. So.
Which
Yeah,
makes sense.
that would make sense, right?
Yeah,
you would just
they've been
pick
around
the
for
6
so long.
teams, yeah.
So you have succeeded the top 5, but too bad it's not a good bet like the 300-1 winner that hit yesterday. We should mention that.
fear.
Did you guys see that?
Well,
Yeah.
today.
Oh, yeah, it was today. Sorry.
It was today, yeah. The first race at Leopardstown. 300-1. Biggest winner ever in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
Biggest price winner. I mean, just seeing a horse at 300-1 is unusual. Like, to see a horse priced above 100-1 is very strange. So the fact that this horse has been priced at 250-1 on debut and then 300-1 in its second race, I mean, it's just the sheer combination of odds is incredible, regardless of where it actually ended up finishing.
Did you see the race, by the way?
No, I've not seen it, no.
It actually ran a good race. It came on the outside pretty well, timed it really well. It was...
Was it
you
close?
wouldn't- It's the classic, yeah. It just kind of went past the
I think the official winning distance was ahead.
Aquacool. Yeah, Aquacool, or whatever it was called, the even money favorite. But I was saying that what was funny about it is obviously when the opening prices come out, what is it, like 15 minutes before the off? It actually opened at 125-1, which means that it was so not backed that it went out to 300s from 125, and that's impressive to go out another.
Well,
like
it's also sad though because that
175
means
points.
no one probably bet it then.
Oh, yeah, it means there's maybe 1 or 2 tickets out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a
the
couple
thing
of
you have to
£1
really
bets,
think,
£2 bets.
the sad thing, right, is that there's someone out there and his only, well, I won't say his or her, only loss in an accumulator is the favorite losing to a 300-1 shot.
That's kind of hurt. Yeah, the other shitty part was the manager had bet it the first race when it was, what was it, 200-1? That the first time it raced?
250-1 SP in its first
Yeah,
race.
they bet some each way on it the first time, and then it raced so poorly in that race that the manager decided to not even throw like a 5 each way on it. It wasn't even worth it at this point at 300-1.
I mean, you can't argue with it, right? Because when it finished 12th of 14 in its first race, miles behind the winners. So there was no reason to think that it was suddenly going to improve by that amount. The interesting thing is going to be, what is its starting price for its next race?
Yeah,
and will it ever win a race again?
1,000-1.
What do you do? What do you do with it next? Because there's going to be eyes on it, right? And it's probably the price will probably be distorted because of it. Like money, not fake money, but like money because people remember that horse being 300-1 will pile in for it, and it will distort its odds.
It goes one of either two ways, right? Which is that it goes off its next race is like 6-4 favorite, and that's crazy. Or everyone thinks, well, that's never going to happen again, so it's 300-1 again.
Or it's the next Frankel, and it'll be like 1-4, 1-6, 1-8, 1-10, never loses. You could have got it at 300-1. That was your lot.
If it's 300-1 next race, do you take it?
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I probably won't even notice the next time it's racing because it's racing in very small Irish horse races.
It's got a good name. Might see the name.
Yeah, he knows
Maybe.
No Fear is a memorable name.
It's not bad. But yeah, the chances that, I mean, I'm assuming it will race again in the next 2 weeks, probably. So
I can't wait until I can't wait until the Big Chill podcast horse goes off at 300-1 and wins for us.
Big Chill would be a good name for a horse.
No, it's the Big Chill podcast. It's
we're going to go full sponsorship.
Yeah.
We should do one of those race sponsors as well. You know, like they're off.
Oh, yeah. The 215 from Haydock is.
Yeah. No, we haven't got the
Big
money
Chill
for Haydock.
The Big Chill podcast, Phillies and Hares Hurdle. Or something like that.
You guys shoot so low. It's the Big Chill podcast derby.
Oh yeah, because Investec have pulled out. So there's an opportunity there. We've probably got about a month to put that together.
The absolute shame in these prestigious events suddenly turning into like sign up to Spotify the Big Chill podcast, like Class 6 maiden.
Follow us on Twitter. To be fair, there are worse names than that for horse races.
You could go to like a really atrocious evening card at like Dundalk, where the money for the prize winner is like €3,000, and I don't think it would cost much to sponsor that race. I honestly don't think it would cost much to sponsor those races.
No, because people obviously they do them as birthday presents and stuff, right? So
yeah.
And I mean, I know obviously people could spend a lot on someone's birthday present.
Could we consider that?
I think there's probably other things. Other things we might want to invest money in. Or
No. And I tell you what, I know someone at Newton Abbot Racecourse, so they do summer jumps, and that's kind of low level, low prize money. I do know someone there that might be able to kind of like give me at least like an indication of how much it would cost to sponsor a race.
I like the Big Chill podcast, Philly is Mares.
I'd rather have a horse before we're sponsoring races, just to say.
I want to sponsor a card.
If we have a horse, though, it has to be the Big Chill podcast horse.
I would accept.
It has to be called horse in its name.
Yeah, it has to be horse. I would accept like the Big Chill pod.
Oh,
the Big Chill podcast.
No, because then it makes it sound like we're like a sleeping thing that people have at Google, where they go in to do their little sleep pods to get their naps in between working.
No, it's podcast.
Exactly.
It's podcast.
And then you'd love it, Frank, because that would be what everyone thinks, and you love like when the racing call comes in and they're able to like use the name, and so they would be like the Big Chill pod, definitely not sleeping as he tears down the straight. You see, you'd love it.
Yeah, but you could also do like the Big Chill podcast gets up to the finish and is now the #1 on iTunes and in the Derby.
Oh, wait, are we paying off? Are we paying off the commentators? Hey, just no matter where we finish, here's an extra £10,000. Just make sure you tell people to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just our horse dead last. He's sort of racing in some huge Group 1 that is like dead last, instead of sort of speaking about the winner who's just won some fantastic race in amazing fashion. They just go, "Oh, here coming in 27 lengths behind is the Big Chill
you know what we
podcast."
do? We get the horse into the Group 1 and do like the Sussex Stakes with San Donato, and we just tell the announcer like, "Hey, our horse is going to kick home like 6 furlongs out," and just say, "And here comes San Donato going for gold." He's being ridden. No one else is off the bridle.
If you were imagining using it as a promotional tool, you would just tell the jockey just go for it from the stalls. Be 20 lengths clear, because it just guarantees they will have to say the name repeatedly. If you're looking for value for money as an advertising ploy, you definitely have to just be a pacemaker.
Pretend this is a 4 furlong sprint.
Yeah, you would be
Sir, it's a 3-mile jump.
You'd be so furious if, like, you were a punter who had no idea that was the tactic, and you were like, "I like the look of this horse." Comes out of the schools, and the jockey is immediately whipping his horse. It's like a mile 6. You'd be so livid. But the thing is, we could do like a live podcast at the race, because you get the sponsorship like tickets as well.
Even more. You know what? We'll extend it even further. We'll have a listener run. We'll have a competition for listeners. Whoever wins the competition gets to ride it.
And then it gets interviewed after.
Yeah.
If they're alive.
Yeah.
I was listening to, actually, just before I was listening to Barry Garrity interview, he was going through his list of injuries. It's insane, some of the injuries that these jockeys go through, and just the stories of how they get these injuries. I don't know why you'd want to be a jumps jockey. Sounds so scary.
It's brutal.
Well, definitely the risk from the flat. Obviously, there have been some pretty horrific injuries in recent times in flat racing as well. But obviously, the risk factor for jumps jockeys is significantly higher.
And you're getting paid less.
Yeah, I suppose. You're still, if you're one of the top 2 or 3, you're making a very nice amount of money.
I think jumps racing has more of a more of a cliff edge to its like middle lower tier compared to flats. Like you've got like a lot of strength and depth with flat racing. Like
You also have the added benefit that you don't have to be as small. So they are roughly normal sized human beings.
So I could be a jump jockey.
You'd probably be too short.
Thanks, Eddie. Wow, shots fired.
Hey, George Kittle, this is who you're going to have to come and take on. You didn't know the reason why you can't do Frank's arm drills? Because he's 3'8". So the things he does with dumbbells are impossible for you. Ever lifted a dumbbell that's taller than you?
I would never do a jumps race.
Well, glad you're ruling that one out, Frank, because I really thought you.
No.
I was a little bit concerned about who was riding our horse at one point.
What I mean to say is I've always wanted to learn how to ride a horse, and I would eventually think it'd be really cool to get on a thoroughbred and just see what it feels like to run down like a straight of a track on like an actual racehorse. I would never then say, okay, let's one up this and let me just do like 2 jumps in Cheltenham.
I would love to see you on the back of a racehorse powering down a straight. I think you would shit yourself.
Next to it.
Because I'm not denying it.
They're topping out at what, 30, 32, 33 miles an hour?
Listen, I'm not getting on Batash. I'm not getting on the fastest horse in the world. I mean, I'm getting on probably an 8-year-old thoroughbred that's sitting in a farm somewhere.
Why not? Why not set your standards high? Batash is about.
Because I might break Batash.
Batash would break you. Don't talk silly.
We'd break each other. It'd be the perfect friendship.
It's not the perfect friendship.
What an awful.
The perfect friendship.
Wow, Franks, I'm really worried that I'm friends with you.
And
your idea of a good friendship is one in which you mutually assured destruction.
Eddie, I've been slowly poisoning you every year I come.
It seems to be a longer game.
Is it like one of those things
One
of those things where you're like breaking glass up into my meals?
Yeah, I've been sixth sensing you for years. You don't even know. Well, you have to look forward to because it's already happening.
And you've undone it all by confessing on an incredibly popular podcast. You've made the authorities' job really easy.
I was thinking with the sitcom, would there be anyone that says Dexter?
I mean, for starters, who's calling Dexter a sitcom? that's. I mean, you'd be like, Schindler's List, please.
I think it's the people who would choose Dexter.
It's really like a challenge.
Schindler's List. There's some funny moments there.
Yeah. I want to really push myself. I want to challenge myself in this sitcom.
Yeah, I mean, what's the stretch of a sitcom?
A situational comedy.
No, I'm just trying to think of like what's the most sort of violent or aggressive thing that you could possibly call the sitcom. I never really watched Dexter, so I don't even know if Dexter had funny moments.
Like, is Dexter like a dark comedy, you're saying?
Because like Breaking Bad, right, became pretty humorous at times.
You could call it a sitcom.
So
you couldn't
call it a sitcom, but there were definitely episodes of it that.
But you could answer the icebreaker question as that.
But for example, like Orange is the New Black, right, gets nominated as a comedy show in like Emmy Awards and stuff.
Oh, that would definitely not be my
The Martian, for example, was treated as a comedy.
The movie.
But
The movie, yeah.
Matt Damon.
Situational comedy means that you apply things to your real life. Like, I don't think anyone is like watching Breaking Bad go, yeah, that happens in my everyday as well.
Well, I'm sure there are a good amount of drug dealers out there.
There's a few people who will be.
So as
To be
long as
honest with
a
you,
few
I can't
people-
relate that closely to the life experience of Friends. The difference in the life experience of the cast of Friends versus my life experience comparison to the cast of Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Different differences are not that far off.
So you're saying that you're basically 50-50 between the two. Like,
Depending
the
on the
idea
character.
of living with
character, right?
friends, having everyday jobs compared to boiling people in acid baths.
I could be the
Well,
I could be
spoiler
the,
alert.
I could be the
Spoiler
son with
alert.
MS.
Oh, come on. That's like 2 episodes in.
Well, not everyone has started this series.
Yeah, spoiler alert. No, I mean it depends on the character in the series, right? There's some of them. Obviously, I'm being a little bit facetious, but like the overall life of the characters in Friends is like so unrealistic. I could more easily become a drug dealer in New Mexico than I could be someone living in New York in a relatively large apartment with my friends, barely ever going to work, just carefree, skimming through life. The drug
Eddie,
dealer
every
one is
day, every day I talk to you, you're living in Paris, out at the bar every night, in a nice apartment, in a really nice apartment. How is this any
The
different
more you
except
said
the
that, the
city?
more you said what you're saying, I was like, this isn't too far off.
not New York though.
Oh, that's the difference. The location.
Not New York,
Like,
in
it was-
Paris.
The more you kept saying, the more I'm like, this is exactly what Eddie does.
But he doesn't
He has
relate.
a really nice apartment that
He
he
doesn't
should
relate.
probably
He's
have.
trapped. He's trapped.
I don't live with
rat
any
race.
friends.
I hope you listen to that.
And I don't have any friends who live across the hall.
That is
So
the
that-
difference, I guess. You could. It's just you're just a knock away.
No, actually, no one lives there at the moment, so I would just be knocking endlessly.
So then you have 2 apartments basically on your floor.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You
If
own
something
your
you're
own
occupied,
floor.
It's basically yours.
You should just knock through.
Yeah, I do have a private floor at the moment.
I don't live in a big apartment in a city. Well, on that Eddie lie, I think we can call it a day.
Yeah, I'll have to. It's late here. I'll probably have to choose which of my many bedrooms I'm going to sleep in tonight. And see which one.
Just don't worry, because you can just get up around noon, go down to the cafe, get some coffee, and start your workday around 3 p.m. like they do on Friends.
Exactly. Maybe I have a private sort of lake as well. Maybe I'll just go there, murder a swan.
You also actually have what?
Why?
Did
What
that
could be
happen
more-
in Friends?
What could be more decadent than just choosing to take the life of a swan?
I was going to say you actually have a really nice cafe right below you, basically.
Yeah. I'm not sure KB coffee is quite up to the standards of the Central Perk, but maybe.
It's pretty good. I've once sipped it. It had a pretty good rating.
Oh, don't shout yourself
And
out.
they don't have a couch in there, though. The lack of
No,
a
they
couch is a real downer. It's all just benches.
A funky hipster looking one as well.
Yeah. And it's not basically just reserved for me.
They actually did that episode, didn't they?
You're right,
Where they
Eddie.
had the
Your
fight.
life is nothing like Friends.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Thank you.
All right, boys. Well, it's time for me to go and rebet my Atletico loss.
I'm going to follow the NHL.
Rebet your loss. That's pretty impressive.
Well, it's going to lose, right?
No, it's already lost.
No, I meant the
Not
next
going.
one's going to lose.
Oh, okay.
Give me 20 on Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I want to double down on this, please. I got a good feeling about this one. Just to give an update, the Columbus Blue Jackets won that game 3-1. So that series is tied at 1 now.
Right after I said that I think the Lightning would sweep.
Yeah, so that was an
Wow.
instant Duke curse.
This is...
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Duke of Curse. Good night.
And And also the Vegas Golden Knights and the Chicago Blackhawks are currently 0-0.
That's going to
Wow.
be such a good series. I might just go watch that now.
It sounds it.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys
Oh,
later.
I take that back. Vegas Golden Knights have just scored.
Nice.
Boom. Cool. All right, guys. Until next
See
time.
you guys. Until next
Sam,
time.
I think you should always be saying cheerio like you did that one episode.
All right. I can sign out the British way.
Okay. All right. See you boys later.
See ya.
Cheerio.